Okay, guys, I'm passing out the agenda. This is our part 2. I'm looking at small group instruction. If you look at the back, we have our essential questions. These are the minutes from our last meeting. I just took notes, and we have them here. But I really want us to focus on this question, 2 parts. One is what has worked well during small group instruction time, what is not. And then what format would best support small group instruction for lower tiered students. That is, should we all be doing the same things, right? Kind of like CKLA, everyone's doing the same lesson. Everyone's like, so should we do that? Even though kids are in different tiers, in different places. So that's kind of the 2 questions to think about. So last time we looked at, and I have our recommendations, which are at the bottom. 3 things came up. Number 1, we need to fix progress monitoring. Number 2, we have to fix the restroom breaks during small group instruction time. And number 3, we need to better support teachers that are new to the grade level or new to the school. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, welcome, Ms. Moore. Here's our agenda. Last time we talked about small group instruction and how to improve. So today I want to look at what has worked well during small group instruction time, what has not, and what format do you think would best support instruction for lower tiered students?
So something that I think was beneficial with small group instruction was doing the small groups with fluency, reiterating that and having them practice different ways of fluency. So some did echo reading, some did pair reading, just to build that around their fluency and their rating.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I know with my higher students, I have them both doing like stories, and that does well. The only thing is, like, I wish that I could do it with my tier 3 students, or is it tier 3, tier 2?
Mm-hmm. 2 and 3.
2 and 3 students, because the only thing is, you know, the point of the fluency is to actually see their comprehension level too. You know, well, what is this character doing? What is the setting? What's the problem? And we can't kind of have that dialogue yet if they're still trying to decode and actually read, right? So that's the only thing with trying to do the same lesson with all of them, and that's kind of why I mix it up. And we're still decoding and working on blending in tier 2 and 3, while my, top 2 are reading and comprehending and doing fluency, like you said.
When I meant all the same is what I'm saying is, like, she's got tier 2 and tier 3 students, you got tier 2 and tier 3 students.
Mm-hmm.
So if you all were doing the same thing, right? That way it's like, okay, this is what I'm using for my struggling readers, right? And that way we can lean on each other for support. Like, all right, today we're focusing on digraphs or diphthongs or, things like that.
That's a good suggestion. I didn't think about that. That's a good suggestion.
Well, and Ashley and I kind of started that in the beginning of the year, where our 2 lower groups, where it was like, okay, if these are the issues that they're having, this is where we're starting with those phonics lessons. So then we were doing the same phonics lessons for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, and then, like, I know you were using some of the same books for the higher ones.
Yeah.
How did you all like working on the same thing? Or what happened? Just life?
No, I think we still, yeah.
Doing it now.
Yeah, I think it worked out well. I mean, I think the only thing you would want to change, like, it's like if I started seeing something different, or if she started seeing something different with her groups, like, would you want to add in something, or like, this group isn't growing as quickly as they should, so I need to go back to some lessons.
Right.
Since you would want to make it a little bit more the same for each one, or for like your own.
Yeah. And it's always good to have a thought partner, so that's the advantage of doing the same lessons at the same time too,
Yeah.
Being able to debrief how our kids did.
Yeah.
And I started noticing with my lowest group that, like, so they were reading the sentences pretty fluently, and pretty fluently, and I was like, ooh, I do want them to work on some comprehension. So then I went and found some like first grade level, like I was like, if they're reading at first grade level, then let me find some first grade level passages that they were then doing. So they would read, we did our phonics stuff, and then they would do a passage. So that they could get some comprehension practice too at their own level.
Yeah. How did you like that?
I liked it. They liked it too because I think they felt successful.
Some confidence.
Yeah. They're like, I can't read and answer a question.
What do you think has not worked well?
Well, I think one thing you already hit, that bathroom break. I do think that was killer. I don't know if other people felt that way.
Yeah, the math.
Just felt like it kind of interrupted.
I don't know. I mean, because a lot of it is not just here, you know. A lot of it has to do with the practicing that they're doing at home too, and that helps with the retention. Like, how are they retaining, you know? So, I think that's where some of the problem is as well, because we can do all we can and, you know, shift lessons and things like that, but if we just did this yesterday and you went home and you got on the game or you were on TikTok or, you know, and then you come back and you can't restate or recite what we just did yesterday, you know, it's kind of like.
I also think they try to throw, like, because they wanted us to do writing during that time, so then we, like, it's like, okay, we lost even more time because now we're having to teach full, like, writing lessons, which well, you know, administration was like, okay, it only needs to be 10 or 15 minutes, but also in 3 months they need to be able to write an essay. So it's like there's a lot of pressure for them to write an essay, and this is our only small group time, and it's just getting squeezed in to a block where there already wasn't enough time to even get all your groups.
So what I'm hearing is what you're saying is a lack of retention. My question with that is, does the homework reinforce the lesson, or is it connected? Do you think it's like connected or not connected?
Not necessarily, because with the reading homework, they just have a passage and they have to answer multiple choice questions. They're not really building their decoding or fluency skills around that necessarily.
Yeah.
And that was all at just one level. Like, we weren't differentiating homework.
Yeah. And then what you're saying is that sounds like a shift in focus, right?
Yeah.
We started focusing on phonics and fluency or, you know, reading skills, and then it's like, oh, by the way, you know, they got to be able to write.
Right.
And you got to teach it during this time.
Right.
When did that?
I mean, that was supposed to be all year, but then it got.
It was thrown in like in January.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think in January is when we started trying to focus on it more. We were supposed to be doing it all year. I think it was just like we didn't really get it going, and we also knew like there's also an issue of we have kids that can't read.
Yeah, so how do you teach writing to kids
Who can't read.
who can't read?
It's really hard. And then it's like, and then they want you to teach that in a whole group setting, right? So it's kind of like, I have a mixed multitude of friends who can read the prompt to me, and then I have friends who can't read the prompt at all.
Yeah.
And then I have friends who I can read the prompt to them, they can answer it, but then they need spelling. They need help spelling everything they're writing.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it was difficult. It was very difficult.
Yeah, one of your students told me, he said, during the testing, he says, well, I don't need that. I said, just let it listen to it. He said, I can read.
Yeah, I have.
So I had to walk away and mind my business.
Yeah.
I don't need. I can read.
Yeah, some of them are very good readers. Like, I have some really good scholars, and you know, but I have a mixed multitude. You know, I have some who really struggle, and that's where the discouragement comes in, because here we are at the end of the school year, and I have some that I feel like, you know,
Have made great progress.
have made great progress, and then I have some that I would love to have seen make more progress. You know.
Well, and that's kind of the focus. Is like that group, right? Those kids that struggled in August and are still there.
Yeah.
Right? What could we have done differently, or what should we have done differently?
Mhm. Definitely just, I guess, spend more time spending more time analyzing like the week, especially if it came to like Philip said, if I wanted them to work on fluency this week, let's tackle this fluency and maybe do like a small check for understanding, or even like they don't have to know that it's not being graded as a pop quiz, but like maybe like a quiz or something at the end of the week, just to really solidify what they were able to retain.
Or even just more progress monitoring.
Yeah.
Which you already brought up here. And because even like with we were doing some of the maze stuff right before, but like we could have been actually progress monitoring the kids on maze all year long, like on the computer on it, and we weren't.
Okay. To be continued.
Thank you.